Hello and welcome to the Business Show podcast on Radio Newark and in collaboration with Newark Business Club. My name is Simon Gabitas. I am one of your hosts and I'm joined by a Hardy of the Michael variety. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, Simon. Great to be here again.
And we are doing the podcast in August again via video. We're looking forward to seeing the new Radio Newark podcast room from next month. So you will get a glimpse of that on future podcasts. And today we're also going to just introduce our guest that we've got on. So one of our patron sponsors for the Business Club is Peachy Events. And we've got Ben joining us today. So hello, Ben. How are you?
Morning. Yes, good. Thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much.
So we're going to start just by running through what's coming up on today's show. So we're going to start with the intro to our patron, Ben. Then we're going to talk about last month's meeting highlights. We're also going to have a quick synopsis of the summer event, which everybody tells me was fantastic. Then we're going to have the Business Show Big Quiz, followed by grants for you from Newark and Sherwood District Council, action group update, and then a quick update on what's going to happen in the August meeting.
Sounds good to me. And of course, you know, if Ben's here, then he can help me with the business quiz as well, which is always good.
I have a feeling you might have to dash off before then.
Quick, I'm going. That's it.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, Ben, thanks for joining us. Obviously, we're delighted that Peachy are into their second year as patron sponsors. And we really appreciate not just the sponsorship, but also the work you do on our meetings in terms of keeping us on track and also making us look great and sound incredible, which is always important for us.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
I particularly like the way that I'm able to just go, right, and on the screen, it's coming. And usually you keep me just hanging for at least a few seconds, just to keep me, keep me ready. But
Got to keep you on your toes.
Keep me on my toes. Well, you did it also at the hustings that we organised and hosted. So I think I mentioned something about muting the all of the candidates if needed. At which point you muted me just to prove that you could mute.
Yeah, just to prove that I'm still in control. It was a risky one,
and we recognise that. But no, we thank you very much for all of your help and support. And it's certainly something that I think helps us and sets Newark Business Club apart. And it's something that, again, we've had a lot of positive comments on from other people. So yeah, it certainly helps us do what we do.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it you know, back at you guys as well. You know, it doesn't just take us for the majority of our events we do. You know, we always try and say, I know it's very cliche, but you know, what you guys bring is as important as what we enhance, so to speak. You know, we're just there to provide the microphones and the screens and things to just enhance what you guys bring. So I think together it's just a really great kind of knitting of the two teams. So yeah, it works really well.
Good. No, good. And thank you again. I suppose in terms of Peachy Events, and this is one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about today, managing and helping us and supporting us with Newark Business Club. I know you support other business clubs as well with the audio-visual piece. But I guess, for people listening, can you give us a bit of an idea of some of the other exciting things that you guys get up to as well?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different things, a lot of very odd things, a very mixed bag of business, really, which is great. And I kind of guess since if we're kind of talking pre-COVID, are we still talking pre-COVID? Is that still a thing, or are we just ignoring that now?
Yeah, I refer to
we were kind of yeah, it was a while ago now, though, wasn't it? Kind of pre-COVID, our business was very corporate. So kind of what we do at the Business Club, really, we turn up, we set some microphones up, and we listen to a varied amount of anything from NHS to dental things, to teachers, to government, to all sorts of random lectures and presentations that I've listened to over the years, and that was kind of our bread and butter. And we did the kind of the fun things every now and again regarding like festivals and kind of live event stuff, but kind of pre-COVID, that wasn't really a lot of our business. Whereas kind of post-COVID, it kind of forced us to, obviously with that corporate work kind of disappearing a little bit. And especially considering our main client was the NHS, which obviously they weren't putting loads of staff members in a room to do lectures for obvious reasons. And so kind of post-COVID, we kind of had to come up with, or during COVID, I suppose, what are we going to do to branch out and reach different parts of the industry. And that's where we kind of started diving into the kind of Christmassy winter wonderland experiences or special projects, and those kind of things that people could still do outdoors. So that really helped us get through that time. And then it's just carried on from there. So my days really now, every week and every day just looks totally different. I'm here, there, and everywhere. I could be on a farm park one day, at a castle the next day, doing a corporate work the next day, sat in a meeting the next day. It's very varied. We have a very vast amount of things that we kind of get up to, which is great. It keeps it kind of interesting and fun. So yeah.
And as you said already to us, you could have actually joined us in the office to do the podcast because you live around the corner, but actually you're in the middle of sorting another event in the middle of Lincoln, hence why you're joining us remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of here, there, and everywhere. As you mentioned, Lincoln. We support. We've supported the Newark Business Club for a while. We've started supporting Lincoln Business Club. Michael, who one of our colleagues, who you'll have seen at the back of the room when I'm not around, he supports the Lincoln one from the business because he lives over in Lincoln. Obviously, I'm over in Newark, so I support us here in Newark. But yeah, we're everywhere, to be fair, which is great.
Everywhere. And then, sorry, I was just going to say, in terms of the event, you mentioned the Christmas Wonderland and the Winter Wonderland stuff. How early do you need to start planning that one?
Ideally, there's always the ideal time to plan, and then there's when the client wants to actually talk about it, which is two very different things. We like to say we want to start talking mid-January.
Wow.
And that's for a couple of reasons, really. One, because lead times on equipment and planning, you would not believe that if you want a big, giant plastic Santa to be lit up by December, you have to order it in February, March time for it to be designed, developed, and delivered. Whereas the other kind of aspect of it is still remembering what you've done the year before. So being able to sit in a meeting and go, right, what did we do this year? What do you want to do different? And that's obviously fresh in clients' minds in January, not when it's hot in August, September time, when they've totally forgot about it. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how much planning goes into these events. I think it's great to hear you talk about pre and post COVID and actually that sort of change in your business model. And there's so many successful businesses now who look back on that. And, there was a word pivot, which we used quite a lot in those times, and how you changed, what you did to make sure you had a future. Because I'm sure when things changed and NHS was under pressure, the last thing they were going to be doing was having conferences with multiple staff in a room. So being able to pivot and change and look at your business today, which is probably more varied, very different, and having that range of customers and opportunities actually makes the business stronger for the future. So well done to everybody for that at the business. And it's always great to hear that, out of adversity and problems comes success.
Yeah, totally. And, it could have been very easy just to sit back and go, that work's disappeared. What are we going to do? And just sit there worrying about it. Whereas actually, I do believe that I mean, there is probably a very small selection of businesses that really couldn't have done anything, but I do believe that there was always something that you can do, and it might be a crazy idea, but there's always a way of doing something, in any situation, not just in COVID, through anything. If see, that's quite a big key aspect of our business, thinking outside the box, etc. We've kind of got that under our belt anyway, so that sort of helped. So yeah,
that entrepreneur spirit, that we see right across the business club and the region, which is fantastic.
I tend to get a feeling that you thrive
absolutely.
under pressure, Ben.
Yeah, yes, I definitely do. I definitely get told that I am always a million miles an hour, and I'm definitely slowing down as I'm getting older. But yeah, I definitely enjoy the fast kind of environment of the event industry. So yeah.
Yeah, I reckon we got up to about 950 mile an hour at the summer social, just at the end.
100%, yeah, definitely.
Good.
So in terms of the sponsorship, which we're grateful for, what are the benefits to Peachy from being part of our patrons group?
Conversation, and just knowing who's in the room and where to go to when you need something. I think that is the key aspect of the business club. I think, if I'm honest, when we first started doing the business club, when we were in the Everyday Champions Centre, it was cool, there's another kind of corporate client there we can support. It's a way of getting a bit more income, happy days. Then a few months in, a year or so in, I'm kind of thinking, okay, this is really interesting, actually. It's a room full of people that actually are really beneficial to the way that you orchestrate your business and the things that we might need going forward. And I think as well, I can't remember what year it was that we kind of supported or started to support, but we were definitely at a point where the business is kind of, because we've always been very, we call ourselves a very small business. You would almost say very family run, even though none of us are related. And we have a very different way of running the business. And we were at that point where it was kind of getting, dare I say, like more professional, if you know what I mean. There's certain things and boxes that we had to start ticking, so we're employing more people, etc. There's more money going out the bank for things like expense cards, insurance, like all those kind of things that kind of happen, and it starts to feel a bit more real. And it was kind of at that pivotal point where we started needing X, Y, and Z, and suddenly when you're there on a Friday, you're thinking, okay, that person that's just introduced themselves is going to help me do this, or this person's going to help me do that, or they might have the answer for this. So I think it's mega beneficial for anyone. I'm always a massive advocate of anyone that's starting a business in Newark or anywhere they are. Go and join your local business club.
I think
friendship.
Yeah, well, you touched on it there. I think the friendship, the support, and I think you've already mentioned kind of pre-post COVID, but during COVID, I think that piece as well. Actually, a lot of those businesses, with your support, with David's support through some of the work that you do, Michael, but other groups came together and actually helped each other, because the thing I kept hearing was we're all in the same boat. I think we were all in the same storm. Different people were in different boats, and it was trying to figure out how other people can help each other out at that time. And you're right. I think
absolutely,
it's some of the support network that it gives you as well, which I think I've found really valuable as well. Certainly from my side of things.
Yeah, totally. And I think we don't now. I've definitely changed my kind of view on the business club, whereas, as I mentioned, it kind of just felt like another client at first. Now it's not that at all. I turn up, it doesn't feel like work in a sense. It's more the connections and the people that we're meeting, rather than I've just got to go and do this early on a Friday morning. I don't think I've woke up early on a Friday morning before now for the past few years and gone, oh, I've got to go and do that again. It's actually like, oh, cool. Business Club is on Friday. Amazing. So yeah, it's good.
Well, that's always great to hear. And obviously for anyone that's driving into Newark Business Club right now and listening to this on 107.8 FM Radio Newark, you'll be glad to hear that you're going to see Ben with a smile.
Or Michael, you know, I don't know who it could be.
Either
depending on where people are.
Sunshine and a smile for the next few months.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, Ben, it's been great to have you on the podcast. We really appreciate your support, and it's fantastic to get your views on your business, but also on why being part of the Business Club is so important for you. I think you're going to disappear rather than stay for the quiz, I believe.
No, I think Ben was going to stay for the quiz, weren't you? That was the idea.
I mean, it depends. Are you doing the quiz now?
I think what could be actually good, we could do a bit of an update on the summer social, because of course Ben supported us with that, so that's probably a good thing to do. So you can bow out for the quiz maybe and leave me to just get all those answers wrong, but it would be good to just do a bit of a summary on the summer social.
Yeah, which unfortunately I missed due to previous bookings at
other work requirements.
No, it wasn't work, unfortunately.
But yeah, we had the first Newark Business Club Summer Social event, and that happened last Friday, and yeah, it was great to bring lots of people together. I suppose the idea was that we'd had demand from people when we'd spoken about what people want out of the business club, people that maybe couldn't usually make the breakfast meeting, people that weren't as happy as me and you, Ben, to jump out of bed on a Friday morning with a big smile on their face, but also people that maybe through work requirements, maybe working in retail, etc., couldn't make that breakfast meeting. So we wanted to do a summer social, and it was good, wasn't it? It was a really, really warm day, but we had so again, Ben set up an amazing environment. So we had a stage over at the YMCA cafe. We said to them beforehand, this is going to be a 60-minute makeover, and I mean, it was. They halfway through, they realised we were taking apart plant pots and moving stuff around. We had a big 4 metre by 2 metre stage, and then we had a live acoustic guitarist and singer. So we had Jack Brett come across, which was great to hear. He did a couple of sets. We had a big barbecue, and then we had Luch, our good friend Luch, entertaining us on the stage as well, which was great. But I think we all had a good time, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was great. I've worked with him a couple of times now, and yeah, he is great. I think it was definitely, I mean, if you had one of the hot dogs, can you call it a hot dog? Hot dog times 6. It was huge.
It was as big as a dog. It was
really.
I mean, it literally was. Yeah. It was bigger than the bun, and the bun was massive.
Yeah, I think, and again, the YMCA hospitality team are great. And when we originally sat down and went, we actually had a meeting at the YMCA to discuss where we could have our summer social, and we sat there and went, well, this is an amazing place if we can move a few things around, if we can change it. And actually, again, with your help, obviously from the Peachy Events hardware store and all of the stuff you were able to bring, we had the big stage, we had 2 massive screens there, all of the whole speaker system set up as well. So yeah, I think the room really worked well for that. We had 60, 70 people in the room. Very warm, but we couldn't have asked for better weather for a summer barbecue, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
So no, thank you once again for your help and support with that, because again, it made a massive difference, and everyone that we've spoken to has said that actually, they'd not necessarily thought of the YMCA cafe as that type of venue where you could put a stage in, where we could make it like that. So I think, we've probably given a few other people some ideas, hopefully some more people that might ring you and go, Ben, that stage that you did in the YMCA cafe, can you do that again for us, please?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what it's about. It's, you know, our job is very much that. We'll often turn up to venues where the clients maybe not even sure about where, you know, they've got a room in mind but aren't even sure about what they want to do with it, but they know, you know, they know what they want to achieve, but they don't know how to get there. And that's also what we do. Standing and pointing. We do a lot of standing and pointing in venues, but more than we do the actual setup.
Standing and pointing. Well, yeah, and as long as you've got people like me and Simon Shaw as roadies at the end of the night to just, you know, help put a few
brilliant.
people away.
These guys, I was so impressed. I mean, yeah, we were absolutely throwing stuff in that van at 10:15 at night, absolutely sweating.
Well, so yeah, big shout out to my wife and Sam from our offices as well, because yeah, we managed to get all that stuff away in your van up that ramp. Very
It was
well.
great.
But yeah, no. So from our point of view, from the business club, another successful event, in partnership with Peachy Events. So it's a big thank you to you and the team, obviously, for helping us achieve that.
No problem. It's good.
Right. In that case, I think Michael wants me to just be, you know, by myself for this quiz, so I can fail miserably by myself, not get any support.
Well,
from
I hope you
else.
don't do well. I hope you do well.
Thanks, Ben. Really appreciate it. Seen you smile.
Cheat.
Look at that.
Ben, appreciate your time. Have a good day.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon.
Thank you so much. Yeah, good to see you. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
That was great meeting Ben, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think again we've mentioned a few times now. The biggest word for the last couple of months from our side was collaboration, and I think the collaboration that we have with Peachy Events is great and helps us do stuff like the summer social as well as the monthly breakfast meeting. So no, thank you again to Peachy Events for your ongoing patron sponsorship.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's have a chat about last month's meeting, sponsors and who was on stage.
Yeah, so another action-packed meeting. The meeting was sponsored by the team over at Elements Green. So they were giving us an update on some of their plans around solar, what they're doing in terms of the local area, what their input requirements are from other businesses, getting other people involved. We then had the update from our previous Charity of the Quarter. So the Charity of the Quarter that we did the previous month, we had Eden Links, Me and D Charity, and Positively Empowered Kids. They all presented to the audience. And then at the end of that meeting, we gave everyone a token and they all voted, and they voted for Me and D Charity. So well done, Me and D Charity. And they got a donation from the New Business Club, but also from the Roundtable team. So they walked away with a £600 donation to their charity, which is great. And yeah, we had the Who Gives a Book feature. We'll come on to that a bit later on and talk about that. And then, yeah, lots of table networking. And then there was lots of obviously talk about the summer social and lots of new people that we saw in the room as well. So we have got, so if you're on the way over to the Business Club this morning, there's lots of new people that have already registered. So just looking through the ticket list, it's great to see lots of new names, lots of company names I don't recognize, which is the whole point about New Business Club. You know, we want, you know, all the existing people to obviously, you know, come back to the meetings, you know, see value and enjoy coming to the meetings and seeing the, you know, business friends and connections, but also for there to be new businesses kind of coming through that, you know, want to get involved as well. So yeah, good to see lots of new people book on for the August meeting.
No, that's fantastic. Great news for everybody.
Indeed.
Okay, now is the time of the podcast that you look forward to the most.
Where's Ben? Is he still here? Is he gone?
It's the Business Show Big Quiz.
Big quiz, the quizness.
And we do need a tune to play at this point.
Not that one. Right.
Okay, so we've got 2 questions this month.
Fantastic.
And the first one, and as usual, I think, you know, the 2 questions actually partly to test your knowledge, but also to create a bit of discussion as well. So the first one is, which company caused IT chaos this month?
I mean, the company at the heart of it was Microsoft.
It was a different company that held that made the changes.
Yeah, but it was Microsoft at the heart of it.
Not really. They were just the, you know, it was their impact, but the company that actually
I can't remember what they're called. Quick Connect. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah,
CrowdStrike.
that one. Yeah.
So, and I mean, the impact by making some IT changes to not just themselves and Microsoft, but right across the globe was just incredible.
And it did hit so many different industry sectors. So it was strange when you started kind of tracking what was happening, because you had people that couldn't go on holiday because it affected certain things in travel. You had people that couldn't buy paint from B&Q because it affected their EPOS system. So it was interesting to start seeing the ripple effect of, you know, all these different businesses, different business sectors.
Absolutely.
Typically bigger business.
Yes.
So yeah, it was interesting, but it just does go to show how technology is fantastic, but when it doesn't work,
it has a huge impact.
Massive impact.
And what is your plan B? So if your card machine doesn't work, do you just shut your business, or do you find another way?
And it's fascinating because we live in a world now where not many people carry cash.
Exactly.
So yes, I mean, if that was the Dartford Tunnel, you wouldn't be travelling through it, I don't think, anymore, because no one's got any cash to go through and give it anymore. But,
so what's your IT backup? What's your security? Have you got cyber security? Have you got a backup plan? All of these things are really important, because it demonstrates that somebody else's business 2 or 3 steps away from you can have a huge impact on your business. So, you know, we tend not to think about cybersecurity until it's too late. We tend not to think about our backup plans until we lose that presentation that we were going to take to the big client.
Yep.
And, you know, from a retail perspective, what happens if your payments card, Stripe or what have you, fails? Have you got a plan B? How can you engage with your clients to ensure you can't just close the door and lose a day's business? So.
Good business continuity planning.
Exactly. Okay, so second question is, how many bills were brought forward by the King's speech to Parliament this month?
I don't got a clue. I don't know.
So there were 39 bills.
39 bills, okay.
Which is a lot, which is a hell of a lot.
So I know I have gone through a lot of the stuff that's very specific to employment, to recruitment, when we've looked at HR and we've looked at some of the employment side of things. So again, that's something that we've worked with some of our partners with in terms of the specifics. I didn't know how many there were in total.
Yeah, so. I mean, the changes. These aren't law yet. These are, what they're planning to push through as law over the next Parliament period, which is usually a 12-month period. But 0 hours contracts, some changes to 0 hours contracts, which I'm sure from your business, Simon, that will have some impact for some of your clients.
Yeah, and we're looking at some of the kind of day one rights from an employment point of view. There's stuff in there. I think one of the conversations we're having is not just what the bills are, but it's then, how they come into practice, and then also actually them being practiced through the legal system. Yes. So, it takes someone to actually start that process. Yes. So I think the thinking from our point of view at the moment is that, again, some of those things are going to take, another 6+ months before we start seeing how it works. But I think it's in our world, in the world of, recruitment, HR, we're working with people like the Employment Confederation to understand how that's going to impact and affect our business. And I think, again, with different businesses, different business sectors, it's worth working with, various trade organisations, professionals, legal, to understand how some of these bills are going to actually come into effect and impact your different businesses.
Yeah, and even if it's 6 to 12 months before they actually become law, don't wait until the last minute to actually implement it, or wait till the last minute to decide what you're going to do. Have a plan of action, because actually if it is going to cost you some money or you need to change your way of working, start that process earlier, because it's going to happen. So if you start to build that into your business now, it's not such a cliff-edge cost and a big impact at that point. And there might be some benefits in terms of recruitment or existing retention of your staff by making these changes now that they won't get elsewhere. So, there is that planning piece, and the impact financially, what does that look like? And therefore, what do you need to do to offset that?
So a nice little link into business continuation, as we talked about a minute ago. So
absolutely.
okay.
So I think, whenever we have these big announcements, it's really important that we look into what they are impacting us. And I've had a few of my business people phone me up and go, "Oh my God," and then you sort of talk it through, and it's not now, and what are you going to do over the next 6 to 12 months to mitigate it? And it's about that not the reaction today. It's planning for the future, which any business and every business should be doing. So
yeah, definitely.
So that's this month's big quiz. Unfortunately, you were 0 for 2 this month.
I'm still claiming that Microsoft were at the source of what happened with the
okay. I think just be careful, because Microsoft would like to talk to your legal representative about accusing them of being the source of it.
Technology.
But anyway, that's all alleged.
Thank you, Michael, legal representative.
Brilliant. Okay, well, hopefully that's given you some food for thought. Grants for you. So we have our fantastic support from Will Parkinson at Newark and Sherwood District Council, and he sent me 3 grants for this month. So if you are thinking of how you can get some investment into your business, grants is always a great way of starting. They're not always free, they're not always 100%, but there are lots of grants out there, as we've proved over the last few months doing this podcast, because we always get different examples from Will, which just highlights the breadth and range that are out there. And he sent me 3 brilliant ones this month, really interesting. So the first one is a Sky Zero Footprint Fund, Local Heroes. It's a mouthful.
Acronym, yeah, coming up.
The Sky Zero Footprint Fund aims to reward businesses that are committing to a more sustainable future in their community. 9 businesses from different regions of the UK will receive the equivalent of £20,000 of media value to spend on a TV campaign to advertise in their local area.
Okay.
The businesses must be able to demonstrate they've made significant strides in becoming more sustainable business through tangible change to their business operations, positively impacted the local community through sustainable initiatives. Applications are open to small businesses with fewer than 500 employees and must have been operating for over a year. And it's funded by Sky Media. So Sky very much wanting to push the sustainability piece, which you see quite a lot if you watch any of their sort of sports or news programs, but trying to get local businesses, small businesses who focus on that, and they're giving quite a significant amount of TV coverage.
Yeah, that's good.
Which if you watch any Sky, you see more and more local advertising being pushed into your area. So obviously the technology helps with that.
Yeah,
how they do that. So I think that's quite an interesting one for local businesses to consider.
Yep, absolutely.
The Business Catalyst Grant, small grants of up to £1,000 for self-employed sole traders, micro businesses in the jewellery, silversmithing and allied industries. Goldsmiths Company charity offering businesses these grants to help purchase new equipment, develop new products or services, and adopt new processes and ways of working. To be in with the chance of getting the grant must be based in the UK and have evidence that you've completed formal mentoring program, business consultancy or business diagnostics program. This is open till October 2024. So, very much about jewellery, silversmithing and allied industries. But I think what that shows is that, who'd have thought there was £1,000 grant for that area of the
and we do have
sectors.
Obviously, we're pulling out all of these different these grants, and I mean Newark itself is a very creative area. I don't know whether we've got silversmiths, jewelry makers in there, but actually it does just go to show that there is grants and support available for a range of different businesses.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the critical things of this is how don't think that whatever sector you're in, there aren't opportunities. I think last month we talked about some media film grants that are out there. So, And the final one, and we've definitely got this is for farmers, so we've definitely got some farmers in our community. So there's the DEFRA Farming Fund, the Department for Environmental, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, are offering 2 funding schemes for farmers, foresters and growers in England to invest in new technology. It's 2 strands. So the first one is Farming Equipment and Technology Fund, small grants to help applicants buy items to improve productivity and improve animal health and welfare.
Okay.
And the second one is a Farming Investment Fund, which is grants to cover the costs of large capital items that could add value to the business, improve productivity and assist with issues such as water management. And there are various application deadlines, but this runs in 2024 and into 2025.
Okay.
So if you're in the farming community, Will can help you get more details and we'll help you with your application as well. So again, 3 really varied and different grants. Interestingly, all talking about process sustainability, improving business process, etc., which is, you know, something that it is great to hear and great to see there is investment and grants for that. But for more information, contact Will Parkinson at Newark and District Council, Sherwood District Council. More than happy to help, and as you can see, always has some grants in the back pocket that he's happy to talk to you about.
Thank you, Will Parkinson, again. And we will come up with some kind of jingle at some point. Phil from Radio Newark will be able to help us with that, I'm sure.
Brilliant. So next is Who Gives a Book?
Who gives a book? Well, I mean,
extended Who Gives a Book.
Well, the extended Who Gives a Book, and I'll also mention some other news with that, which is great. So in our last breakfast meeting, we gave away a book called PI Leadership, the 7 positive insight steps to peak performance leadership, and that's by a chap called Tony Brooks, who many people locally will know. He has been to Newark Business Club before, so I hope he's doing well. Tony Brooks, if you hear this, but that was recommended by Ian Stevens from Lawmaster. We gave that book away during the meeting. And then the extended bit is that we had the summer social, and as part of what we did at the summer social, we gave everyone a raffle ticket when they came through the door, and we had a number of different prizes. So there was some bottles of bubbly, there was some bottles of wine, there was some cakes that were donated by various different businesses, but we also used the opportunity to give some more books away. So we had a couple of copies of Traction by Gino Whitman, and they were gifted by the team at Gifts from Fairies. We mentioned that at one of our meetings before. That business had a number of those books that they gifted to us, and we've given a few of those away during our meetings. But we also gave away the new book from Adam Grant, Think Again. That was one, as well as the new high performance book by Jake Humphrey. So as a bit of a follow on from the podcast that they do, that was another book that we gave away. So again, keen to continue the Who Gives a Book. And what was quite nice, we heard actually on Friday that there's a couple of other business clubs that have asked if they can steal the Who Gives a Book idea. Which of course, you know, the whole point of Who Gives a Book is sharing knowledge, sharing information. And we always say that, you know, there'll be books that we've read that you haven't, books that you've read that we haven't. So actually, let's share that knowledge. And you never know, you might read something that might, you know, just help you a little bit, but it might actually change your life. It might change your business in one way, shape or form. So we're delighted that that's been taken on board by a couple of other business clubs. And we'll look forward to hearing how that goes in your own different business clubs as well. So yeah, it's all good.
Extended business Who Gives a Book.
Yeah, I should have trademarked it, shouldn't I?
Absolutely.
But no, that's really positive news.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Simon, and hopefully there's more business owners out there with more books that's inspiring them and just giving them a different perspective on what's going on in their business. So just to give you a quick action group update. So as you know, Newark Business Club is the voice for business. We're trying to make Newark the best for business. And we're always engaging our local community and local providers, whether that be politicians or services such as the trains, to ensure that we're getting our voice heard and where there are challenges, raising those across the spectrum. So just a couple of things that have been happening. So we're very much part of the Nottingham Lincoln Stakeholder Board, which is about the Castle line, which obviously Newark Castle is an integral part of. And we're doing some work actually talking about collaboration with Lincoln Business Club and Nottingham City Business Club to get their support, so that when EMR put together their proposal for 2 trains an hour on that line, which is a big upgrade of where we are at the moment, we're trying to make sure that we've got a broader range of support. So they're trying to help us with that. They're not as active in this type of area as we are, so we're just trying to make sure we can get something that they're happy to support, which gives us weight in terms of the voice that we're putting. So it's not just a Newark piece, but it's a regional piece with our 2 cities at either end of the line. So that's something we're working on.
Very positive.
And EMR have invited us to their long-term strategy meeting to have an input into how this area gets what we're working on now on the next 10 years of what we get and how that improves and what's important for us, which again is great engagement.
Really positive, really good. And I've seen some of the comms between yourself, EMR, and actually in terms of the support, they're so happy that, we are giving that. So, it's really important that us as a business club, as an action group, continue to kind of lobby and influence and do what we do behind the scenes to help with these things. So,
Absolutely.
Really good.
And then we, through James Carpenter and yourself, Simon, sit on the Towns Fund board, which has the sort of the Towns Fund 1 and now Towns Fund 2, and that's sort of ongoing. I think the date has been pushed back in terms of when the decision needs to be made. Obviously, with political change always comes some delays, but we're working with the board to ensure that our voice is heard, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And we have an input in what the money is going to be spent on moving forward, which is also important from a business community, that it's got benefits for both our retailers and wider business sectors in and around Newark. So
yeah, I think there's there's excitement from the board in terms of what can happen, projects, but I think the key thing is just communicating that back through the business club. So through Penny Taylor, through the chair, the team on the town board, and again through me, yourself, James Carpenter, will feed that back through Newark Business Club, so people do feel like they're involved, like we have done with the action group meeting so far.
Absolutely.
And get that communicated back through the business club.
Brilliant. So we're going to have August meeting off because it falls on the bank holiday Monday, and we decided that we were all going to be partying like it's 1999 in the summer. So our next meeting is on the 23rd of September, so look out for dates, times, but we'll be back at the Organ Grinder, who are great supporter of us and provide a great little room for us to hold our meetings. So 6 o'clock on the 23rd of September for that meeting.
And I do want to mention, so action group updates, again, where possible, we do like, Michael to give us an update in the meeting, in the breakfast meetings of what's happening. What's been great, actually, I know you've been away for a couple of the meetings, but it's not stopped Michael adding an update, and we've had a selection of different videos. The video that we actually showed this last month had Michael from 3 or 4 different locations, so across the marketplace, up and towards Riverside Park, but it was using the information that you had, again, over Riverside towards Castlegate train station. So again, it was quite an entertaining video. You got a clap for that one. You'd be glad to hear.
Thank you very much.
But again, it just provided, even when you're in the room, to provide a video and to give a bit of context, and to see, when we're talking about improvements in the town centre and what we're doing, to see it. Yeah. Because not everyone actually gets out to Newark Town Centre all the time, and we do. We encourage everyone at the Newark Business Club to continue supporting Newark, the town centre, local retail, independent retailers, and Absolutely. It's such a key time to continue to do that. So no, it's great to see the video, and great to kind of see you out and about on your bike.
No, thank you. Yeah, I had a puncture last week, but it's been fixed now, so we're back on it. But yeah, and I think the last few Saturdays, with the weather being a bit better, we've been into town and sort of the thriving Saturday in the cafes and the market is great to see. And you know, where we can, we should all try and use it, because you know, shopping local is important for so many reasons. And you know, what we don't want to be doing in 5 years' time is looking back and going, wasn't it great when we had a market?
Yeah.
And you know, we've even got some Grantham market stalls now who've moved to Newark, because the Grantham market isn't doing it, and they see Newark as the better bet. So you know, if Grantham are losing their market stall holders, that tells you something, and therefore, you know, we would implore people to use our market.
I think so.
Don't underestimate how great an experience it is, and the impact you have on those retailers when you hand over your cash, or even now tap. I mean, you know, even the market traders are all you know, on the tap and go. So remember that thing that we talk about, you know, when you buy from a small business, there's a happy dance going on in the background every time they make a sale. So yeah, remember that.
There is. We've got a good thing going in Newark, and we need to kind of keep that alive and keep it moving forward as well. Keep it moving. So yeah, we always encourage people to get into the town centre.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Simon, the August meeting, what are we supposed to be looking forward to in August?
So we're going to hear from the team at Nexus Fostering. They're sponsoring the meeting. So we heard from them, I think, about a year ago. So they're going to be coming, giving us some more updates. And then we've got our usual networking sessions. We will be hearing from patron sponsor. So Motorfinity are going to be talking. They've got a 10-minute slot, and actually they're going to be talking about a collaboration that they're doing. I think a charitable piece of work that they're doing as well with a local photographer. So they'll be coming and giving us an update on that. We've got another book to give away. Of course we have. Who gives a book?
Absolutely.
So yeah, and it looks like the sun will be shining once again. So whether it's Ben or Michael from Peachy Events, hopefully you'll see them smiling at the back of the room as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, another positive podcast.
Another positive podcast. I'm looking forward to, actually, I mean, it's lovely, you know, being this close to you at the moment, but I'm looking forward to the new podcast room at 107.8 FM Radio Newark that we will get access to, hopefully from next month, which is really, really exciting as well.
Absolutely. So just to leave you, usually sort of a last saying. So I've actually gone short and sweet, but less is more. Less is more. In business, in life, less, more quality. Yeah, think about your time. Think about where you're spending that time, what's important. Do less things brilliantly, and you'll get more out of life. Less is more. And on that note,
nothing else to add.
I will bid you a fond farewell, and we'll see you next month.
We'll see you next month. Thank you very much.
All the best. Take
Bye
care.
now.